Did you know that by the time you turn 70, you may have already lost up to 40% of your muscle strength and not even realize it until it's too late? That slow, creeping weakness in your legs, that unsteady feeling when you get out of a chair, that fear of falling when no one's around to catch you. It's not just aging. It could be the result of pills you were told were safe, but that might actually be silently stealing your strength every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Thomas, and after decades of working with older adults just like you, I've seen the same heartbreaking story repeat over and over. Muscle loss, weak legs, and dangerous falls, all made worse by common medications most seniors take without a second thought. But today, we're going to change that. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 common pills you may want to avoid, and the 3 powerful nutrients your body could be crying out for to restore strength, balance, and independence. Stay with me to the end because what you learn today might not just protect your health, it could help you walk stronger, live longer, and feel like yourself again. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 3 common pills that could be silently stealing your strength. 1. Statins, cholesterol-lowering drugs. It often begins quietly. You're prescribed a statin, Lipitor, Crestor, Zocor, to protect your heart. Your doctor says it's routine, just a little pill to keep your cholesterol down. You nod. You trust them. Of course you do. But what they don't always tell you is this. For older adults, statins can slowly, silently drain the strength from your muscles. What starts as a little soreness in your thighs may soon become difficulty climbing stairs. Your legs feel heavier. You begin to shuffle instead of stride. One day, you realize it's harder to get out of your chair. And it's not just age. It's something else. I remember a patient of mine, Mr. Charles D., 74 years old, retired firefighter, a man of strength. He came to me months after starting a high-dose statin. "Doc," he said, "I feel like I've aged 10 years in 6 months. I can't carry the groceries. I'm scared I'll fall in the shower." His muscles had weakened so much he had trouble rising from a sitting position without pushing off his knees. We ran tests. His cholesterol was perfect, but his creatine kinase levels, an enzyme released when muscles break down, were elevated. The statin, meant to protect his heart, was quietly harming his muscles. This is what they don't warn you about. Statin-induced myopathy, a real condition especially common in seniors. It causes pain, cramping, and muscle deterioration, and in some, it becomes irreversible. The price you pay? It's not just discomfort. It's your independence. It's losing your confidence to walk unassisted. It's the fear of falling and not being able to get back up. It's the dread of losing the very legs that carried you through life. Statins have their place. They save lives, but only when used wisely and when the risks do not outweigh the benefits. If you've started experiencing new weakness, leg fatigue, or muscle pain since beginning a statin, don't ignore it. Speak up. Your body is trying to tell you something. Mr. Charles stopped the statin under supervision. With time, his strength partially returned. "I wish I had asked questions sooner," he told me. And he's not alone. So before you blame age for your weakness, ask yourself, could it be the pill? Because what if the medicine you trust is the very thing holding you back from strength? Now imagine that same quiet threat, but this time, it's hiding inside the pill you take to help you sleep, calm your bladder, or soothe allergies. Let's talk about the second pill you should be very cautious of. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Anticholinergic drugs. You might not know the name, but chances are there's at least one anticholinergic medication in your medicine cabinet right now. These are pills taken for seemingly small problems like trouble sleeping, seasonal allergies, or an overactive bladder. Drugs like Benadryl, amitriptyline, and oxybutynine are commonly handed out without much thought. But for older adults, the cost of taking them can be alarmingly high. These medications work by blocking a brain chemical called acetylcholine, which plays a key role in memory, attention, and most importantly for your body, muscle control. When you interfere with this delicate balance in the aging brain and nervous system, the consequences can be serious. I remember a patient, Mrs. Lorraine H., 78 years old, who came to see me after her third fall in 6 months. She didn't understand what was happening. Her legs felt shaky, her memory was slipping, and she was starting to feel like a burden to her children. When we looked at her medication list, one thing stood out. She had been taking diphenhydramine, Benadryl, nightly to help her sleep, along with a bladder control pill her previous doctor had prescribed years earlier. Both were powerful anticholinergics. She had no idea those pills could weaken her leg coordination, slow her reflexes, cloud her mind, and rob her of her ability to stay steady on her feet. The truth is, anticholinergic drugs are linked to a higher risk of confusion, dizziness, mobility loss, and even dementia, especially in people over 65. For Lorraine, the price was steep. Fractured confidence, a bruised hip, and months of fear every time she got out of bed. Once we removed the medications under careful supervision, her clarity improved and her balance slowly returned. But not every senior is so lucky. The most frightening part, these drugs don't feel dangerous. They feel familiar. A simple pill to help you sleep better or make you more comfortable. But what's the hidden cost? The price you pay? It's not just foggy memory or stiff legs. It's the slow erosion of your independence. It's losing the ability to walk without fear. It's not remembering the name of your grandchild at the holiday table. It's your world becoming smaller, not because of time, but because of chemistry. If you're taking any medication that causes drowsiness, confusion, dry mouth, or blurred vision, don't brush it off. Ask your doctor if it has anticholinergic properties and whether a safer alternative exists, because once the damage begins, reversing it isn't always possible. And here's the hard truth. Many of these drugs are still being prescribed every day to older adults who are never told what they're risking. But what if I told you the most common drug that could be robbing your muscles doesn't affect your brain at all, yet it weakens your legs from the inside out, day by day? Let's take a closer look at the third pill, one that millions take every morning without knowing what it's quietly doing to their bones, their balance, and their future. 3. Proton pump inhibitors, PPIs. You probably took it without thinking twice. That little pill for heartburn or acid reflux, maybe Nexium, Prilosec, or Prevacid. It promised fast relief from the burning in your chest, and it delivered. So your doctor said, keep taking it just once a day, and you did. But here's what they didn't always tell you. When taken long-term, PPIs can silently drain your body of the very minerals that keep your muscles and bones strong, especially calcium and magnesium. It doesn't happen overnight. It creeps up day by day. You start to notice your legs feel weaker, your balance is off, maybe you trip more easily. You blame age. But the truth might be far more dangerous and avoidable. One of my patients, Mr. Harold S., age 81, came in after a fall that fractured his pelvis. He'd never had any issues with strength before. "Doc," he said, shaking his head, "I was just walking to the mailbox." He had been taking a PPI daily for almost 5 years, never missed a dose. But no one had told him that prolonged use could interfere with his calcium absorption, weaken his bones, and lower his magnesium levels, which directly affects muscle performance and coordination. We did lab tests. He was deficient in both calcium and magnesium. Worse, his bone density showed early signs of osteoporosis. Not once had he been warned that a pill meant to protect his stomach could slowly be weakening the foundation of his entire body. This is not rare. In fact, long-term PPI use is now directly linked to increased risk of fractures, muscle weakness, fatigue, and even vitamin B12 deficiency, a nutrient vital to the nervous system and muscle control. The price you pay? It's more than just brittle bones. It's the terrifying moment your legs give out under you. It's the ER visits, the walkers and wheelchairs, the rehab centers. It's the independence lost, not because of something you did wrong, but because no one told you that this safe little pill isn't meant to be taken forever. These medications have their place. For short-term use, they can be a gift, but no one, especially not someone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, should be on a PPI for months or years without reevaluation. Your stomach might feel better, but what about the rest of you? If you've been taking a PPI for more than 8 weeks, it's time to ask the hard question: is it helping more than it's hurting? Because your legs, your bones, and your balance may already be paying the price. And now that you know what to avoid, what about what to embrace? Imagine if 3 simple, safe, and natural solutions could help rebuild your strength, sharpen your energy, and help you walk with confidence again. In the next section, we'll uncover 3 powerful nutrients your aging body may be quietly begging for, ones that could change the way you move, feel, and live. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 3 essentials your body and legs may be crying out for. 1. Vitamin D3 with K2, the bone and muscle duo. It's often called the sunshine vitamin, but for many older adults, vitamin D isn't shining nearly enough. After the age of 60, your body becomes significantly less efficient at producing vitamin D, even when you spend time outdoors. And as we age, we also tend to spend less time in the sun, wear long sleeves, or live in places where sunlight is limited, especially during long winters. It all adds up to a dangerous deficiency most people don't even know they have. Vitamin D3 plays a vital role in muscle strength, bone density, immune function, and balance. But what many don't realize is that taking vitamin D3 alone isn't enough. Without vitamin K2, the calcium D3 brings into your bloodstream may not go where it's supposed to. Instead of nourishing your bones, it can deposit in your arteries, increasing your risk of calcification, stiff joints, and even heart problems. Together, however, D3 and K2 are a powerful duo, one that ensures calcium is guided straight to your bones and muscles, not your arteries. K2 acts like a traffic cop, directing the calcium to where it belongs, helping maintain strong bones, resilient legs, and a healthy cardiovascular system. I'll never forget Mrs. Judy R., 76 years old, a spirited former teacher who came to me exhausted, frustrated, and fearful. "I feel like I'm shrinking," she told me. "My legs feel weaker every month. I used to dance. Now I dread the stairs." Blood work showed she was severely deficient in vitamin D and had early signs of bone thinning. We started her on a combined vitamin D3 with K2 supplement, adjusted her diet, and encouraged a bit of weight-bearing exercise, even simple chair squats. 3 months later, Judy was smiling. "Doc, I don't feel 40 again, but I do feel steady," she said. Her balance had improved, her posture straightened, and she was once again enjoying morning walks without gripping every handrail. Her confidence had returned, and with it, a piece of her independence. Medical research continues to show that adequate vitamin D3 with K2 not only reduces the risk of fractures, but also improves leg strength and reduces the chance of dangerous falls, one of the leading causes of injury and death in older adults. If you're experiencing fatigue, weak legs, frequent muscle cramps, or even just low mood, don't dismiss it as just getting older. It might be your body crying out for help, for nourishment that's been missing for years. Now imagine what might happen if you added just one more missing mineral, one that powers over 3 essential functions in your body, including those that keep your legs from trembling and your heart beating strong. Let's uncover the second essential your body may be starving for, and how adding it could mean the difference between dragging through your days or moving with real strength again. 2. Magnesium, the mineral of motion. There's a moment many older adults know all too well, waking in the middle of the night with a sudden leg cramp that feels like a knife twisting through the muscle, or sitting at the breakfast table and noticing your hands trembling ever so slightly, or that strange buzzing fatigue in your legs after only a short walk. You may tell yourself it's age, but in truth, your body may be desperately crying out for magnesium. Magnesium is one of the most essential minerals in the human body, involved in over 300 biochemical reactions, many of which are vital to your muscles, nerves, and energy levels. Yet studies show that nearly 50% of adults over age 60 are magnesium deficient, and most don't even know it. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing magnesium, especially if we're taking medications like diuretics, proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, or certain blood pressure drugs. Add in reduced appetite or digestive issues, and you've got a perfect storm. But the impact goes far beyond cramps. Without enough magnesium, your muscles can't relax properly after contracting, which leads to stiffness, pain, and even chronic fatigue. Low levels are also linked to irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, insulin resistance, poor sleep, and increased risk of falls, a frightening reality for any older adult trying to stay active and independent. I remember one patient clearly, Mr. Ronald E., 79, a retired railroad engineer. He came to my office after nearly fainting during his morning walk. He felt weak, dizzy, and had trouble catching his breath. He assumed it was his heart, but blood tests showed something different: critically low magnesium levels, likely worsened by his daily antacid and water pill. After carefully introducing magnesium glycinate into his routine and adjusting his meds, the results were clear. His energy returned, his legs steadied, and he was able to resume his daily walks without fear. "I thought I was breaking down," he said, "but really, I was just running on empty." This is what many don't realize. Magnesium is not optional. It's essential fuel for every step you take, every breath you draw, every muscle you rely on to live freely. And when you're low, it doesn't scream. It whispers through weakness, tremors, stiffness, and falls. If you've noticed symptoms like muscle twitches, insomnia, poor balance, or even anxiety, it may not be aging. It may be a silent deficiency that's stealing your strength from within. You can reclaim it, starting with food sources like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains, and if needed, gentle supplements like magnesium citrate or glycinate. The key is listening to your body and asking the right questions before the damage grows deeper. And now, what if I told you there's one more nutrient, often overlooked by seniors, that could actually rebuild muscle, sharpen your memory, and give your body back the power it once had? Let's explore the final key that could reignite your strength from the inside out. 3. Creatine, not just for bodybuilders. For years, creatine was dismissed by many older adults as something meant for young athletes and gym buffs. The big tubs, the flashy labels, the muscle-bound marketing, it never felt like it belonged on the shelf of someone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond. But the truth is, creatine may be one of the most powerful, proven, and overlooked tools for preserving muscle strength in older adults. And the science is no longer up for debate. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass, a condition known as sarcopenia. By the time we hit 70, we may have lost up to 30% of our muscle, especially in the legs. That loss doesn't just affect how we look, it affects how we move, how we live, how we survive a fall. Creatine works by helping your muscles produce more energy, especially during short bursts of movement like rising from a chair, climbing stairs, or catching your balance. While it's been studied in athletes for decades, recent clinical trials show that older adults who take small daily doses of creatine, just 3 to 5 grams, see measurable improvements in strength, mobility, and even cognition. Yes, cognition. I remember a gentleman named Walter K., age 79, a retired Navy mechanic. He told me he felt slower than he used to, physically and mentally. "I'm still me," he said, "but it's like my spark is fading." He had no serious illness, just the normal wear and tear of age. I suggested a low-dose creatine supplement paired with a simple chair-based resistance routine. After 6 weeks, Walter came back with a grin. "Doc," he said, "I picked up my grandson without thinking about it, first time in years." His legs were steadier, his energy was better, and he said his mind felt sharper, more awake. Creatine is not a steroid. It's a naturally occurring compound found in your muscles and brain. As we age, our levels drop, but supplementation can help restore them. The risks are low, the science is strong, and the rewards, they can be life-changing. If you've been struggling with leg weakness, balance, or energy, even if you're otherwise healthy, creatine may be the missing piece. And you don't need to go to the gym or lift heavy weights to benefit. Even simple home movements, standing up from a chair, holding a wall squat, walking for 10 minutes, can activate the power of creatine when combined with proper intake. This isn't about building big muscles. It's about holding on to freedom, mobility, and dignity. It's about saying no to the slow fade and yes to one more strong season in your life. So now you know the 3 things your body may be desperately asking for. But what happens when you finally listen to those signals? Let me leave you with one final message, because what you choose to do next could change not just your health, but the rest of your journey forward. What you choose not to take is just as important as what you do. At this stage of life, every decision you make about your health carries more weight because it's not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. When it comes to your muscles, your balance, your legs, and your independence, you are not powerless. You are not just getting old. Much of what feels like decline is often the result of missing support or unnecessary harm. We live in a culture that treats pills like fixes, when in fact, some of those pills quietly chip away at the very foundation of your strength. Statins, anticholinergic medications, and proton pump inhibitors may all serve a purpose, but in older adults, they often come with hidden costs: weaker legs, foggy thinking, poor balance, brittle bones. These aren't just side effects. For someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, they can be the start of a rapid loss of independence. I've sat across from too many good people, people like Harold, Judy, Lorraine, who came in thinking they were just aging, only to discover that the real issue was chemical, preventable, and in many cases reversible. But the real hope lies not just in removing what harms, but in restoring what heals. Vitamin D3 with K2, magnesium, and creatine aren't miracle cures. They're nutrients your body once produced, absorbed, and used with ease. As we age, our bodies slow down, but they don't stop. Given the right support, the human body, even in its 70s, 80s, and 90s, can regain strength, clarity, and vitality. I've seen it happen. I've lived it. And you can too. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about protecting the dignity of your steps. It's about waking up without fear of falling, about standing without grabbing onto the table, about living in a body that still feels like yours. If you've read this far, you're already different. You're paying attention. You care. And that alone puts you far ahead of most. The decisions you make today about which pills to question, which nutrients to embrace, which conversations to start with your doctor can change not only how long you live, but how well you live. So I ask you, as someone who's seen too much silent suffering, what if the strength you thought you lost isn't gone? What if it's waiting quietly, patiently, for you to make the right move? Because when you protect your muscles, you protect your freedom. When you nourish your legs, you walk into your future, one strong, steady step at a time. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.